Welcome back, party people. You are listening to Crossplay, where we get together and talk about all the video game goodness we can handle each and every week right here on thewhatnots.com. It is Sunday, March 8th, 2020, and this is episode 17. Coming up on today's show, we're going to be talking about I Am 8-Bit pulling out of E3, Google announcing a new studio to develop exclusive games for Stadia, and of course, The Last of Us being adapted by HBO as a television show. We'll be talking about all that and more, but first, my name is Kyle Springer, and I am joined by Ignacio Rojas.
Yo.
And for the first time on this podcast, James Wilkinson.
Hey.
Yeah, welcome, James.
Thanks for having me.
For sure. We've had you on a couple episodes of the review show in the past.
Yes.
And
yes, I've bothered you before.
and you've also suggested some stuff that we covered on the review show. But it's been fantastic. I don't know if Melissa has passed the news on to you, but our episode on Valerian and the 1,000 planets, right? Is that what it's called?
Yeah. City of 100 planets, City of 1,000 planets, something like that.
It's one of our best performing episodes on YouTube.
Oh wow! I did not know that. That's cool.
Yeah, let me see if I can look it up here.
Wait, so a review on the Valerian movie?
Yeah, we did that on the review show a while ago. It was like a year or two.
Because it's a good movie, Ignacio.
I mean, it was okay.
Yeah, so beyond okay, it was great.
That's the thing. Like, Melissa mentioned that you really liked that movie, and I was like, that's strange, because I was interested in it because I knew it was based off of a comic, but I didn't know anyone that liked it. So I was like, this is amazing. Here's someone who likes it.
I'm a black sheep.
Yeah. It's like, let's talk about it. That's awesome. So we did. And yeah, it's usually up there in our like highest performing ones. Let me see if I can find it.
That's so cool. I didn't know that.
How do I filter for Valerian? There we go. Views. It has 2,279 views.
Wow.
Jeez.
Yeah.
Well, I'm glad I could help.
Yeah. So thank you for helping us out. Yeah.
I'll let you know if I have any other movies that everyone hates and I love.
Hopefully, your name can overtake it.
Yeah. Who knows? Yeah. Maybe one day, because we just had Ignacio on to cover that one.
Oh, I have that in my feed to listen to it. Ignacio, I didn't know you were on that one.
Yeah.
It is.
It's because of me that they did it. I pushed them. I insisted.
Exactly. Well, Ignacio, what have you been up to this past week?
Oh, school. And I feel that that's always what I say. School. But it's true. The usual school.
Yeah. The unending school.
Yeah, it hasn't been an interesting week. It's just been another week,
Fair enough.
Yeah.
Fair enough. James, what about you?
Yes. What's on with me?
Yeah. What's been going on in the life of James?
Not much. I've moved since I last talked to you. I'm back in me and Mel's hometown.
Okay.
I'm actually not fully unpacked, so I'm between boxes right now, and wires are all over the place. But I'm set up enough to record.
So how long has it been since you moved?
It's been about a month or so. There's still a lot of boxes.
Why?
I'm a slow unpacker.
Dude, my parents moved out to Wyoming a couple years back because they're from out there, and they still have stuff that they haven't unpacked from like a year and a half, 2 years ago. And it's just like, do you guys not need this stuff? like, so
Listen, I'm unpacked enough that I can live comfortably, and then when I'm come home from work, I'm way too tired to finish unpacking. So it's just an
sometimes that's all
ongoing
you need,
issue.
though.
What?
Just like I just need the bare necessities.
Oh yeah.
Don't need
Just
all of
very-
the extra stuff.
Very basics. Got my PS4 set up, and that's all I need.
Hell yeah. Speaking of PlayStation 4, let's get into what we have been playing this week. Let's start with you, Jams.
Mm-hmm.
What's been
I have
going
been
on for you?
Let's see, start of the week, I'm almost done with Kingdom Hearts 3. I'm playing it for the first time. It's been about a year since it came out, I think.
Okay, yeah.
And I am at the I guess spoilers. I am at the world with the Latin name with the big
Scala
upside down
et Caelum.
cities. Scala et Caelum, yeah. It's very fun to say.
Yeah.
But I just got there and I'm just like, I'm going to go back and hunt around at a bunch of stuff, which I really like, that you can just be like, all right, I'm at the final world. I think I need to go see Winnie the Pooh for a little bit, and then I'll come back. You guys hold down the fort here.
Yeah. You're not
good.
that far from the end.
Yeah, and
Yeah.
I know that. And I kind of like don't want to finish it. I'm kind of holding off, so I started
I
playing
get it. I
a
get it.
couple other things. Yeah. That's kind of the downfall of a lot of games. There's a lot of games that I haven't finished just because I want to play other things first.
Yeah. So are you a big Kingdom Hearts fan, or is this your first time jumping in?
Well, I've played 1 and 2. I didn't.
Okay.
I'm not big enough that I've played the others. But I've been following along with the story, and I've kept up with it. So, and I knew what was happening before I've seen this game played before I played it. So,
Gotcha.
Yeah, because
just-
in between 2 and 3, there's a lot of story.
oh yes,
Yeah.
There's
Yeah.
there's all sorts of characters that show up, and you're just like, who is this? It's like, oh, that was from, the mobile game, the one that was on
Yeah.
PSP, and the one that was on Game Boy Advance, and
yeah,
stuff like that.
the
Well,
mobile game that you can't play anymore.
Right?
Well, there are a lot of characters like the Ventus, Aqua, and Terra, and Xehanort. They all
Yeah.
started in the after 2,
Yeah,
and they play a big role.
they do. Yeah,
Yeah,
and that's the naming convention. You can't trust numbers in Kingdom Hearts.
yeah.
Sounds good.
Yeah.
So I
I
I'm
do
all-
recommend though going and playing some of the other games. Like Breath by Sleep
Yeah.
is a great Kingdom Hearts game.
That's what I've heard, and I know you can get those on like the 2.5 and the
Yeah.
1.5 remixes.
Hmm.
So maybe I have friends that have those. Maybe I'll borrow those and play those.
Mm.
But while I'm waiting to decide if I want to keep playing Kingdom Hearts 3 and beat it soon, I tried out the Final Fantasy 7 demo.
No.
Oh yeah.
Yeah,
As
which
did we
we
all
what's
did.
that?
No, I think we all did. Right, Kai?
Mhm. We did, yeah.
Yeah.
That was big
What'd you
news
guys
this
think?
week.
Mm-hmm.
What did you guys think of it?
I really enjoyed it. I've been playing the original the past couple weeks too, because I was like, you know what, I've never played that. So I jumped into the original and I played the demo, which is maybe like the first hour of what this new game will be. And
That's
yeah,
what it felt like.
Yeah.
it's
More or less.
the exact same thing in the original one. It's like the first hour ish.
Yeah, but-
if that.
Yeah, the demo adds a lot of stuff. I would say that the demo it does the same, but it's much longer. It adds more in that
Yeah.
time frame.
Well,
Yeah.
it's so pretty to look at. You just want to
Oh
stop and
yeah,
look at
no,
it.
it's beautiful, and I love
Yeah.
how it plays. Like this Final Fantasy, the demo I played. This is the type of game I love, the type of gameplay I love, and I'm glad that they are remaking a game that it's so important to gaming that they are making it on this style, because it's hard for me to go back and play
Sure.
turn-based games. I tried playing
Man, let me
the
tell you,
new
the
release.
controls on the
Yeah.
original one is not
Yeah.
fun.
Mm.
It was a little difficult for me for this one. I've never played a Final Fantasy game, so this was my first venture, like, oh, everyone's playing the demo. I guess I'll try the demo. And it was very abrupt, like, oh, I need to get used to this. I even had trouble with the boss because I was just so unused to the controls.
Well, it's more like Final Fantasy 15 more than any other Final Fantasy games. But even then, it's more of a mix between 15 and 7. Because it does try to like bring those elements, like using the items and the menu-based stuff. It tries to combine that with the modern aspect of the gameplay.
Yeah, I was expecting because I know there was that Final Fantasy game where you're just a bunch of boys in a car driving around and fighting monsters.
Yeah, 15.
Yep. Yeah. So I was expecting just like, oh, maybe it'll feel like that, and I guess it must.
Yeah, it kind of does.
Yeah. I've heard also people talking about Kingdom Hearts in the mix too, that it kind of feels like that because you can just like run up and hit things. Yeah, the only way it is not like Kingdom Hearts is the X button opens menus and doesn't attack. I just kept like jamming the X button, and I'm like, oh no, I've opened a bunch of menus and accidentally launched a bunch of stuff that I didn't want to. Which is weird that it's like a menu button. Like that is the last button I would think is a menu button. But I do like that it's not the attack button. Because I guess more modern games put that on square.
Yeah, right? Square makes much more sense. Like, you can get accustomed to playing with X to attack, but square is the most common and most intuitive way to do it.
Yeah, square means punch.
Yeah.
I was dabbling with that. I've played a couple other things. I played a little bit of After Party, which is made by the same people that did Oxenfree.
Oh, yeah.
And you have to drink your way out of hell after you go to hell. And it's just a very fun talking and choose your dialogue, drinking like mini game kind of game. And then I was playing Black Sad Under the Skin, which is a game based on a comic that I really like.
Yeah.
But I don't know how much I'm actually enjoying the game.
What is it?
I've never played. What is the gameplay like? Because I'm familiar with the comic as well. Yeah, so the gameplay is almost kind of like L.A. Noire, but a little like clunkier. Right away when I started the game, it gave me the option for like, do you want to have tutorials on or do you want to just play it? I'm like, well, it's been a while since I played a detective game. I'll keep tutorials on, and I should have ignored them because every time I stop to do something, the screen splits in half and I can't see anything. And as it gives me instructions like on the side of the screen, like, oh, you should be doing this. And I'm like, no, I can't. I'm missing things because I'm trying to pay attention to how to play it. But, other than that, like, it was very hard to nail down the artistic style because it had so much to live up to. So that's a little disappointing, but I can see how much they could have had trouble with it. I'm proud of them for making this game. Whoever made this, what company? I'm proud that they actually went ahead and did this for an old comic. Black Sad called Under the Skin. Mm-hmm. Made this. Let's look it up. Developed by Pendulo Studios and YS Interactive, or I guess East Interactive, and published by Microids. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. No big names, obviously, but still, I'm proud of them. Now, is it more? It looks like kind of like a painting style stuff. Is it all like 3D characters, or is it all like still images? It's 3D characters. It's not. It's not like a live action comic or whatever. But it's 3D walk around the space. You start out solving the apparent suicide, but the daughter hires you like this isn't a suicide, and you are walking around a boxing gym collecting clues and stuff. And it fits all the parameters that makes it a game. But it's interesting that like when I was a kid, and there was a game based on like a property that I loved or a movie, I was all about that game. I didn't care about anything. But now that I'm an adult and I'm like, oh, I really like this property, but the game may not match up to how much I like the property. Right. Like
the big thing I like about the game is that it's about the Black Sad.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm looking at gameplay right now, and I can see the similarities to LA Noire, but it's like that, but not quite.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, just a little clunkier.
Yeah, it does look clunkier.
For those of you guys who aren't familiar with Black Sad, it is a French comic, I believe. And it is about an anthropomorphic detective who is this like Black Panther looking character.
He's a tuxedo cat.
Tuxedo cat. There you go. But yeah, it's like a crime noir detective story.
Yeah, it takes place in the 50s, and it tackles a lot of like real issues like racism and like the Red Scare and a lot of problems of the era. It's really 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 good.
The art style looks neat.
Yeah, it's beautiful. But yeah, that's what's got my attention, and maybe when I'm done with that, I'll go back and finish Kingdom Hearts 3.
I think you should just finish Kingdom Hearts 3.
You're probably right.
Yeah.
I'll get to it in maybe 2 months.
You should now.
Ignacio is like physically in pain. He's like, no, just finish it now.
You're so close to the end, and the end is great.
I've seen the ending. Like when the game came out, I couldn't not go and watch a video of it.
Yeah.
I didn't want to wait a year to play it, and I didn't even know if I was going to play it. I'm borrowing this from a friend who's like, you should just play this. You've seen it, so I already know what happens, but
You should finish it.
Yeah, I probably will.
Ignacio, what have you been up to?
Well, like I said, the Final Fantasy VII demo, I tried that. Other than that, I finished Halo Combat Evolved.
You had like an hour left.
Yeah. Yeah, I finished it like 2 days ago, more or less.
Were you playing it for the first time?
Yeah.
Right on.
The only other Halo game I had played was Reach. I played it for a while, but yeah, this is my first time finishing a Halo game.
You liked it?
Yeah. My thoughts are the same as last week, that I can see why people hold it to such high regard, and for that time I can see why it would have been revolutionary and all, but it does still feel like an old game, like a place. I know it's Xbox, but it feels like a PlayStation 2 game. That's what I played when I was younger.
Yeah, I understand that.
Yeah, it feels a lot like that, and that really, I don't think it holds up very much now. And like I said before, the waypointing system sucks a lot. It's barely there, and when it isn't very clear where you're supposed to go. And
that's one of the big cardinal no-nos of games.
Yeah.
If your waypoint system is wrong, you need to really fix that.
Yeah, and it doesn't help that it's very easy to get lost in that game.
Yeah.
You are
Go
like
ahead.
You for long chunks of it, you're just going through these corridors or areas that all look the same, and for a very long time, and you don't know where to go. You just hope forward is the right way, and then you realize that you were going backwards.
It sounds like a metaphor for a lot of religions.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's interesting to go back to older games like that and see how they did things, and then realize, wow, we've come a long ways. Like, waypoint systems in like Destiny or The Division or something are so much better, and it's just like, how did we survive? Like, how did we figure that out?
Yeah. Yeah, in the end, it wasn't that great. The last section, I think, it was kind of cool. But the overall end, I think, kind of comes out, not out of nowhere, but it just happens.
Yeah.
Yeah. Those are my thoughts on Halo. I know a lot of people won't agree with me. But yeah.
I think some of my fondest gaming memories is like when Halo 2 came out, and I like had the game. I took my Xbox downstairs to the basement, plugged it into our big screen, and I sat on our like big lazy boy sectional and was just like, I am gonna be here all day. Let me do this. This is gonna be so much fun.
What was the big screen of the time? When you say big screen, and when Halo 2 came out,
I don't know. Back then there were big screens.
Well, like it was a big screen TV. I want to say it was like a 50-inch, but it was it wasn't a flat screen. Like this thing was a giant contraption that was like, how did we lift it? Like, how did we get that thing down into the basement? That made no sense.
Yeah.
Yeah, no.
It was a weird time for TVs.
Yeah, I remember having to change our TVs from old TVs to now flat screens, and having to carry those big, heavy TVs. It was like, how did we even got them here?
Yeah. I finally upgraded my TV in my room for Christmas. My parents actually got me a new TV, and I was like, oh my god, like that was the thing on my wish list that I was like, I'm gonna put this here for reference, so that like one day I can like do the proper research and stuff. And then they bought it for me, and I was like, oh my god, what in the world? You guys didn't need to do that. But I got this thing in the front door, and I was like, all right, I'm gonna need help getting this upstairs. And then it was like me and someone else, and we lifted up, and the thing was so light. I was like, what? How? This is magic. How? Why?
TV now is very light.
Yeah. So. Yeah. Good times though.
Yeah, I also, when I was a kid, I had all these games mainly on the PlayStation 2, and so same era, that I would spend days just in front of the TV all the day playing.
Yeah.
But then that if I were to go back to them right now, I would maybe play an hour and get frustrated with the mechanics, or don't really feel like it plays well.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know. Nostalgia can be very powerful.
Yeah.
Definitely.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, that's what fuels games nowadays.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And speaking of old games that aren't that old, I started to replay Batman Arkham Origins.
Ooh la la.
Yeah, it's a game that I've been wanting to replay for a long time, but I haven't been able to do it since I wasn't with my PlayStation 3, and I didn't really have any other way to play it other than a PC, and it wouldn't run well. So now that I have an Xbox and it's backwards compatible, I finally was able to play it.
Nice.
And yeah, it's an Arkham game.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, really, it's an Arkham game. It plays as well as you would hope it would. An Arkham game, and it isn't even by the same developers of the other Arkham games, and I'm very surprised of how they were able to recapture what Rocksteady did and just do it as if it were another game.
That's interesting. I didn't know it was a different studio.
Yeah, it's WB Montreal.
Montreal, yeah.
Yeah. And so back when it came out, and a lot of people gave it shit for one thing or another, and I really think that had people not known that it wasn't Rocksteady, it wouldn't have gotten any negativity, or all the negativity it got, because it really feels like another game done by Rocksteady.
Good for them.
Yeah. Yeah, and I wish more people would have given it the love it deserved, and I wish someone would have remastered it like they did for the other Arkham games.
Yeah, it gets snubbed a lot. Where when they're like, buy the Arkham trilogy, and it's like, that one's not in there.
Yeah,
it's like, oh, come on, guys.
By the cousin Oliver of Batman Arkham games.
Right.
Yeah.
Which I I do have to admit, I am kind of one of the naysayers in being like, yeah, that one's not as good. It's exactly what you said in the sense that it feels exactly like the other games. Like, it's just another Arkham game. For me, the thing that I didn't like is it didn't have all the Easter eggs. Like, all of the little small things in the background and the just the smaller details weren't as prevalent.
Yeah,
That was
I don't
something
know.
that I really liked from the
I think it still does have all this stuff, but then again, I wasn't one who was always paying attention to what was in the background or all the references and all. I do catch one here and there, but yeah, it wasn't a problem for me. The one problem I do have is that it doesn't feel good going through the open world.
What do you mean?
I don't know, going from one place to another, it feels slow for an open world. And maybe that was also a problem with the other two prior Arkham games. But the thing is, those other Arkham games, their open worlds were much smaller. Whereas Arkham Origins, it has a much bigger open world.
And that one was on PS3, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, it might just be something of like, hey, it's a big world. We kind of need to load things in at a certain speed.
Yeah.
So maybe you can go so fast.
Are there random encounters as you're moving through the city?
Yeah, no, it has all the other stuff that the other games had on the open world.
Good.
But it's
just
other
games when they don't. I know other games when they don't have that. It's like, oh, well, now I'm just in a ghost town going from mission to mission.
No, you can still go to the ground and fight all these thugs, or you'll get the alerts of a crime in progress, or maybe you'll stumble into a side mission.
Yeah.
No, in that regard, it's just like the other games, but then again, the map is much bigger, and it does impact it when the only way to traverse the game is gliding.
Yeah.
Although they did implement a fast travel system, I haven't used it much, but yeah, maybe I should be using it more. Now to think about it.
Cool.
Yeah.
Cal, what have you been playing?
I have also been playing Final Fantasy VII Remake demo, as well as the original, like I mentioned. In the original, I finally got out of Midgar, and I right after that, there's a big info dump, just like, hey, here's a bunch of lore and backstory and stuff like that. So I got through all of that last night. Actually, I was playing it on my Switch, and it was like, okay, it's 12:30. That's a good time to stop and all of that stuff. And I looked up again, and it was 4:30. I was like, oh god,
Yep.
I forgot it's daylight savings time.
Yeah, I forgot that too.
Yeah.
Yep.
So I was up late playing that game, but I got to a good stopping point. I don't know how often I'm gonna continue playing this game. I am going to continue, but at a very slow pace. I think, because I'm not necessarily trying to finish the original one before the new one comes out or stuff like that. But I got my hands on the demo of the remake, and like I mentioned, I really enjoyed that. It really made me kind of appreciate the older one more, or at least like understand it and understand what's happening. And I think part of that is just like old game is old. It's like, I don't know what that thing is supposed to be, but it's a thing. I'm smashing it or something,
They couldn't quite make the visual of what they wanted, the story they wanted to tell back in the day as well as they can now.
Yeah. So it's a much more realized world, and then on one hand, it's like, this is really cool to see all of that and to see that detail. It looks beautiful.
Yeah.
But then I think one of the things that a lot of people liked about the original was that there was this kind of muddiness of like you have to use your own imagination to fill out the rest of this.
Yeah.
Sure.
But I really liked it. The combat system was a little bit strange to me. It took some getting used to. I got my ass handed to me that first boss.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
I died so fast, and I was like, this is impossible. Barret is useless. Like, what is this? And of course, like, he's sitting there the whole time like, we should use lightning. We should use lightning. Come on, Kyle, we should use lightning. When are you going to use lightning? Right? And I was just like,
you should have.
I mean...
He said Kyle and everything.
But, like, I was like, I thought I was doing it right, but apparently I was not. And then once I figured it out and it kind of clicked, it was like, oh, this makes sense. Like, I understand it. I know how to work this. I'm still not used to it completely, but I'm figuring it out.
Yeah, for sure. When I started playing it, it did take a while to get accustomed to all the mechanics and menus and all that. But I do feel that by the end, I did get into a flow of it. I was able to use it all when I had to. But Kyle, so since you finished Midgard in the original, how long would you say it took you? More or less?
7 hours?
Oh, wow.
Oh, so yeah, appropriate.
Yeah. So we
because
don't know exactly how long the remake is going to be.
Yeah, because we know that the remake will only cover Midgard.
Yeah. And I'm
Oh, is that right?
hearing that word on the street is like this first one might be 20 to 30 hours.
Yeah,
That feels like not enough.
Well, comparing even the demo to the opening part of the original game, the demo is longer, I would say, than that equivalent on the original. So
Yeah.
Yeah, that was
I
like the
guess-
first like half an hour of
Yeah.
the original game.
yeah, the demo is like 1 or 2 hours.
Yeah,
But
it
I-
just feels like not enough for a game that everyone's waiting for. That Final Fantasy VII is only going to be 20, 30 hours.
Yeah,
I think that's part of their problem is they're not doing a great job communicating what it is.
Yeah.
Because I've been hearing a lot of people on other podcasts having to explain to other people that this is not the full game. This is only part 1, even though
And have you seen-
doesn't say part 1.
yeah. That's what I was going to say. The box art doesn't even say part 1.
Right?
Yeah, that's a big throw off for
Yeah.
everyone.
Yeah.
Yeah, like to those who know, we already know that it's going to be just until Midgard. But yeah, you bring up a good point that that's not everyone.
Yeah.
Yeah.
One thing I do know is that they are also kind of changing some things up, and they're trying to expand on the story, as well as fill it out with side quests and stuff like that. We did get to see one big major change in the demo.
Yeah, they did add more story there.
Well, yeah, there's a little bit more dialogue and story and stuff like that, but there's even like a big major plot point that's in the demo that got changed. Apparently, in the original, it is Avalanche that blows up that reactor. It is their bomb that makes it collapse. However, in this demo, there's the like Shinra president who's hitting there, who also has a detonator, and it's his thing. When he hits
like
the
a
button,
dead man's-
that's what makes it explode.
Yeah, it's like the bomb didn't really do that much damage to the whole facility, and then they had just a self-destruct or button.
Yeah, it seemed
Interesting.
like Avalanche was really only trying to put it out of commission rather than like
or maybe
destroy it.
That's what they thought that was going to happen, but it didn't. I don't know.
Who knows? Yeah.
So in the original, at least what you played, is that not like communicated in a way that maybe it was this corporation that eventually destroyed it?
From what I understand and what I played, it wasn't them. It was Avalanche. And so I've heard some people talking like this seems like they're kind of defanging them, just like this idea that in the original these guys were basically eco-terrorists, right?
Yeah.
And in this one, they're the same thing, but hey, if they find out that they aren't the ones that blew this up, then maybe you can actually root for them a little bit more. And yeah, they're heroes. They're good guys. Right?
Yeah, because
they didn't blow it up. They kind of did, but not really.
They really fucked the city up a lot.
Yeah.
Like this whole generator is their main power source.
Yeah.
And then when it explodes, it basically emits an EMP. So it really fucks the city up.
Yeah, not really heroes of the people.
Yeah.
Yeah, so
heroes of
we'll
the world, but
we'll see what they do with that one. The one thing I did not like, that I will say, is that you have to have an ATB charge to use an item. I hate that.
Yeah.
I thought that
was
the
really
worst.
confusing.
It was like, okay, I'm low on health. I need to use a potion. Oh, but I can't because I need to go attack. And it's like, well, if I go attack, I'm gonna go get hit and I'm gonna die. I was like, that's stupid.
Yeah. But that's them wanting to bring some of the turn-based elements into the game and mix them in there. Because in a turn-based game, you can't use an item whenever you want. So this is kind of like them trying to go that way, but not really.
Right? Like I can use. Oh, it's not Cloud's turn; it's Tifa. So I'm gonna have Tifa use a potion on Barrett. But with this, it's like it feels like one more step removed to me. It might not be, but it was just this like.
It felt like that because when you'd switch to Barrett and you switch back to Cloud, I'm like, no, I still can't use my item. What am I waiting for? Oh, now I can.
Yeah. So I did not like that one bit.
Some disappointments.
But besides that, I've also been playing a little bit more Bloodroots, which is a game I talked about last week. I'm just kind of chugging along in that one. That one, dude, it's so much fun to discover these like new weapons that you can use to just cause mayhem and kill people with. It's so much fun. So the combat is kind of inspired by Jackie Chan, is what people have been mentioning, that he kind of just uses his environment and picks up whatever is around him, right? So that's the whole conceit with this game, is you can pick up hammers and swords and axes and carrots and barrels and ladders and all sorts of stupid random stuff. I picked up a bird egg and I tossed it at someone and it killed them. I picked up the nest that it was in and stuck it on their head and stuff. It was just like, what is happening? This is wild. But then they had one like giant hammer that I found recently, and it's on the top of this giant ledge, and I picked it up and jumped off, and you get 2 hits, but you bounce, so it's just like this big anvil that falls. It's like boom, boom, and then it stops. But it like awesome. Knocks out like 5 of them and stuff, and it's just, oh man, this is so much fun. It is maniacal joy.
It felt a lot like watching TF2 gameplay. Just a lot of back and forth and very animated.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. You kind of have to find the right path. Like, okay, if I pick up this sword and I stab that guy, I can then stab the next guy as well and pick up the ladder that's next to him, and then use that to knock out these 3 people that are right there. So it's good. It's fun.
In a way, it reminds me of Hotline Miami.
Yes.
Oh yeah, definitely.
Yeah. That, or if you liked Ape Out, it's a lot like that.
Yeah,
too.
yeah.
Ape Out was good.
Yeah.
I've also been playing The Division 2 Warlords of New York.
How was that?
This is their new expansion. I really liked The Division 2, so I was excited to jump into this one. And I was kind of worried, though. I was like, I'm a solo player. I played this one entirely by myself, so I don't know if this is really for me or not. And I took a chance and jumped in, and yeah, you can play it solo. It's more of the Division 2. I really enjoy it. It takes place in New York, as the name suggests, which for me personally is not a letdown, but I just don't have as much attachment to Washington, D.C., where I kind of grew up. And it was like, oh man, I've been inside this building in real life too. It looks exactly like this. This is wild.
I got coffee over there, and I had lunch over there.
Exactly. So I had that personal connection. I was just like, this is awesome. I like this. Whereas in this expansion, I don't as much. It's just like, okay, this is supposed to be New York.
Did you know
People had coffee
Blake?
over there, and people had lunch over there.
Did
What
you
was
know
that,
play
Ignacio?
the first division?
I did not. No.
So yeah, because it's supposed to, you're going back to New York where the first one took place.
Exactly.
So that's the whole thing and attraction of it.
Yep. But basically, you are there to track down a certain rogue agent. Aaron Keener, I believe is his name. It's something Keener. But you, to track him down, he has like 4 lieutenants that you need to track down first, and they have info on where he is. So the section of New York that you're in is divided into like 4 smaller sections. I mean, it's a big expansion, but it's kind of divided into 4 quadrants, and you go into each quadrant tracking down one of these lieutenants, eventually killing them. And then once you do, you get some more intel on where the person you're actually after is, and then you can go find him. But oh boy, it is difficult. This is they like upped the difficulty on this one, because some of these boss fights are insane. They did one. I was in this club, basically, and in 3 of the corners there was like this big square building, and in 3 of the corners there were, I guess, what would have been DJ booths, but they've set up machine guns, and then in come these 3 like gold tier bosses, all with shields and stuff, and they're slowly just chasing you down and following you and hurting you. The power is out for the most part, but every so often it'll come on enough to power one of the turrets. And so the idea is you have to go run to one of these turrets and then start shooting at the bosses that way. But there's a couple like extra enemies who are just normal ones that when the power comes on, they will also run to go get the turret and stuff. So if you don't make it there, you have to contend with them shooting at you with the turret, and then there's these 3 bosses inside the room. It's hectic. And then I was fighting one where it's 3 of these gold tier bosses, and they all have flamethrowers, and it just feels like I cannot move an inch without being burned alive. And I'm just like, man, this is difficult. This is so hard. It's good though. It's fun. I really enjoy it. It's the right type of challenge.
Good.
Man, dying that many times, just being like, God damn it, why can't I do this?
Have you tried joining in on any squad? I know Kind of Funny has one.
I know there's clans you can join. You can also call in for like random. You can do like match making and stuff like that. So I could call for help and be like, hey guys, I'm working on this one. Come help me. But I personally, I just don't really want to deal with that. That makes sense. I would much rather squad up with people that I know.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, I would recommend you squatting up with the Kind of Funny clan, at least joining.
Yeah.
I think
Something like that.
I think Greg said that he would be kicking out people and letting newer people in this week, I think.
Cool.
Yeah.
Good to know. I will keep that in mind. But yeah, that's all I've been playing. All of that stuff. Let's get on to housekeeping, and then we can dive into the news because we have some juicy news bits to get to. Okay, housekeeping. If you guys did not know, we have multiple podcasts here at the Whatnots, including the review show, which we mentioned at the top of the show that Jams has joined us on multiple times. That's like our weekly book club style show covering comics and movies and TV shows and all of that stuff. Melissa and I just watched season 1 of The Tick on Amazon Prime.
So you did watch it?
Yeah, we did. So you guys can go find out more information about all of those on our website, thewhatnots.com. If you guys like what we do, patreon.com/thewhatnots is where you can support us for as little as $1 a month. We have all sorts of exclusive content as well at the $3 tier. Melissa and I also just made new D&D characters. That was the first time that I had made that stuff. I've never done tabletop RPG D&D stuff, so that was fun. We got to do all of that, so go check that out. And of course, we would like to give a big shout out to our patrons at the $5 tier. So thank you, Christine, and thank you, Sam, for helping us out a ton.
Thank you.
Thanks for them.
Yeah, exactly. Okay. House has been kept.
Yeah. It's all clean now.
House is safe for another week.
Yeah, right. Let's dive into the news then. We got 7 news items here for you this week. Number 1, Valorant, coming out spring 2020. This is the new game from Riot Games. So let's talk a little bit about this. This is coming from Brian Shea at Game Informer, who has a deep dive on some of the lore of the game and just what it is and who the characters are and stuff like that. But it reads, last October, when Riot Games announced a new slate of a slate of new titles, one of the outliers was Project A first-person shooter that combines the popular hero-based shooter genre with tactical gameplay. We now know that Project A is officially called Valorant and will launch on PC this summer as a free-to-play title. There you go. So what do you guys think of this? Have you gotten a chance to check it out and see what it looks like?
Yeah, I saw a bit of it. Not much though, but it did kind of seem like, for what it sounds, a cross between Overwatch and CS:GO. For what it looks like.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
That's a good way to put it.
I'm not super familiar with Counter-Strike Go. I've
me
always
either, but
kind
it
of stayed
just
away
looks like
from the Counter-Strike games.
Mm?
But this definitely does have like that sense of style that Overwatch has too, where it is like the hero-based shooter. I think they said they were gonna hopefully launch with 12 characters, and like the characters are stylized in a way that it looks like it's not just some like generic army person, right? They have a neat style to them, but then the actual gameplay is more tactical than what you would expect from an Overwatch.
I'm looking at the gameplay right now, and it does look a lot like Counter-Strike, even the guy using a knife a lot. But it does look like Counter-Strike, but with some supernatural elements like magic, like someone put up a firewall, or it's throwing some ice. I don't know. It looks cool.
It's very colorful. I like any shooter that's like, well, you have to kill this man, but you have to kill them with magic. The only thing I did notice is I didn't notice a lot of like, I couldn't really identify characters so much. It was just mostly like, oh, they have that weapon, that person has this weapon, but I didn't see a lot of stylized characters as much as I saw stylized weapons.
Yeah, the characters are stylized, but they still blend in, at least right now.
Blend in a lot.
I'm assuming down the road we'll get more like character skins and stuff like that.
This is just alpha, so
it's not like Overwatch where they really pop up and look different one from another. They all look
really about the characters.
They all look like Counter-Strike people, but with more color. But cool.
I saw one power. I don't know exactly what it was or what it did, but it looked like it was this area of effect where I don't know if it was like a cloud or a gel. Like it looked like it was some kind of defensive barrier, but then you could go inside it.
Yeah.
And I was just like, what is that? It looks like it's underwater, like some murky water thing.
Yeah, I'm looking at it right now, and it looked weird inside. Like, it's hard to see, but not in a good way, I would say.
Almost like Splatoon colors.
Almost, yeah. So, that should be out this summer as a free-to-play title. I'm sure I'll check it out and be terrible at it.
Do we know if it's just PC?
It says launching on PC this summer, so I don't know if it's coming to consoles eventually.
I don't know. It's Riot Games, so
down the road,
don't think.
But who knows?
Yeah, I don't think it would come to consoles.
Who knows? In that case, I might not play this game because I don't have a PC.
Either way, you'll be terrible at it.
Yeah, right. Like my my Mac desktop can barely do podcasts, so.
Yeah.
Who knows? Okay, moving on to number 2 in our list. Some developers don't know their games are streaming on GeForce Now. This is coming from Patrick Klepek over at Vice Games. I think we've mentioned a couple tidbits from this story in prior weeks. And certain things we kind of skipped. But I wanted to get back and talk about this one because it's still happening. So over last weekend, The Long Dark became the latest game to disappear from GeForce Now, NVIDIA's cloud streaming service. The Long Dark game director Raphael von Lerup said on Twitter that NVIDIA didn't ask permission for The Long Dark to appear and said, quote, devs should control where their games exist, and quote. Von Lerup didn't rule out having the game come back. So I thought this was an interesting story because a couple weeks ago the story came out that was like, hey, NVIDIA has their own streaming service, and it's kind of what we want streaming services to be. Like, this is what Stadia should have been, kind of. And it actually works.
Yeah, and then the news was that Activision was pulling out because
Yeah.
the agreement was only for the beta and not for the actual release. So when they discovered that their games were on the actual release, they decided to pull out. And that time, everything looked like it was just a mistake by Nvidia. Like Nvidia understood the agreement one way and Activision the other way. But now that it happens, it seems to be more common. I'm starting to doubt if it really was a mistake on their part. And not just pulling a fast one.
I think their service kind of falls in like a legal gray area, right?
Yeah.
Where this is not a storefront. Like you can't go onto GeForce Now and buy something. This is it's basically streaming the games you already have on Steam.
Yeah, but no. It's no, it's more like
Exactly.
it's more like Nvidia has the games on their servers, and then your game works like a key for them to let you play with those games. It's not like you're using your own game.
I can't get over the name GeForce because it just reminds me of that hamster movie. That's all I can think about.
Hey, they're guinea
Maybe
pigs.
that's how
okay?
it's being
You're right,
they're not
right,
hamsters.
right.
There's just a bunch of hamsters in
They're
Yeah.
guinea
in the
pigs,
back,
not
right?
hamsters.
A bunch of guinea pigs
Racist.
stealing games.
Right.
Yeah.
But yeah, like it's the thing of like you're not paying for access to the games per se. You're paying for access to their service, which gives you access to games you already own, kind of.
Yeah.
In a way. So it's this weird thing of like, well, if you're making money off of it, though, shouldn't the developers get some of this stuff? Maybe.
Yeah.
Who knows?
Yeah, I don't know. It's
Yeah,
a
or-
weird gray area.
Or just this idea that like this is not something that GeForce has gone to like seek out. Like, hey, we want to include Ubisoft's games, and so they went to them and been like, hey, sign up for our thing here. We'd love to have your games. Like, that's not what's happening. Like, they're just being like, okay, our service is live, and it's like you can play pretty much anything in your library. And people are starting to notice that, being like, hey, we didn't opt in for that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But then I think initially some of the big companies that pulled their games are also companies that are potentially going to be working on their own streaming services and stuff like that. So they might have this like, hey, we kind of want the right to like we might want to reserve the right to be like, hey, our games are exclusively on this service, stuff like that.
Yeah.
Lots of stuff though.
It's crazy to think that it keeps happening. That like, it's like how Netflix works. Netflix, you have to go through Universal Studios to get any of their movies. Like, they made a deal. It's crazy to think that these games are just appearing in the studios. Like, hey, you didn't talk to us about this. How'd you get this? Who told you about this?
Yeah, and to think that like weeks after these stories have been coming out, you can still not know or still not think to check. It's like, oh, I wonder if my game is on there, and then you do, and it's like, oh shit, yeah, can you take that down, please?
Guinea pigs are stealing from you.
Right. So
Yeah.
I mean, it seems like Nvidia is playing ball. That like if they get asked to take something down, they're like, yeah, sure, we'll take it off. But yeah, it's just weird. Weird that this is happening.
Yeah. It keeps happening, and it makes you wonder if Nvidia really didn't know, or did they know? Are they playing fast on
Playing
this one?
coy.
Yeah, but regarding companies wanting to pull out, I can see that two reasons for that. The first one being that they weren't asked, so even if it's good for them. They weren't us, so
Yeah.
yeah, you shouldn't do something without our permission, even if it's good in the end for us. You
Yeah.
shouldn't
You
do
need
that.
consent.
Yeah,
Exactly.
always ask for consent.
Always.
Yeah, and the second reason could be, yeah, since this is a subscription service, maybe these companies are looking at it and seeing, hey, you're making money off of our games. We want some of it,
Exactly.
and you
Yeah.
won't get our games unless you pay us.
Mm.
Even
That
if
could
other
be.
people bought it already, we could do more. We could get more money.
Exactly.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm hoping that all of this like streaming technology and stuff happens one day. Like I want this stuff to do well and for them to like figure their shit out, but
Yeah.
we're still in
Not
like
like
the
this.
learning process right now.
Yeah.
Speaking of which, let's move on to news item number 3. Google Stadia opens a new Stadia game studio led by ex-PlayStation veteran. This is coming from Michael McWhirter over at Polygon, who writes, Google continues to invest in its game streaming platform, Stadia, with a new game development studio. The new Stadia Games and Entertainment Studio, located in Playa Vista, California, will be led by Shannon Studstill. Studstill is a veteran of the game industry, having served more than 20 years at PlayStation developer Sony Santa Monica. Most recently as vice president of product development and head of studio. She was credited as executive producer of 2018's God of War reboot for PlayStation 4. Oh man.
Interesting. Yeah.
I think this is a good move
yeah,
for Stadia.
for sure.
Good on them. However, it's 3 years too late.
Yeah. Yeah, no.
That's a good way to put it. Yeah.
It's a great move, but too late. This should have happened years ago. Like,
Yeah.
if they're right now building this studio, it will only contribute in 2 years, 3 years.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Should have happened a lot sooner.
If that, because this is the first like announcement of like, hey, we're making a new studio, so we
Yeah.
don't know who else they're hiring, how long it will take them to come up with something that's like, yes, green light that one.
Yeah.
Right? So that might take 6 months to a year, depending. And then
I wonder if
2 or 3
I wonder if
years
they have
to
an
make
ace
the
up
game.
I wonder if they have an ace up their sleeves that's like, oh, now we need to make this, so we have to make a game studio now before it's too late.
It's potential. I mean, that could be a thing, because I know they already have one studio that has been working on something that we don't know. So maybe they had an idea for something that was like, hey, we're already working on this thing, but here's this thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Here's something else.
Yeah, I don't know. It still feels like it's too late for it to be something that will help Stadia not die anytime soon.
Yeah.
Like, it
Yeah.
will be good down the road, but it's not something that will help them now.
It is bad now.
Yeah.
Well, it's not even that it's bad now. It's like non-existent now.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
just like, this is a
It's
good
neutral
thing
now.
for 3 years down the road, which is why you should have made this happen like 2 or 3 years ago, so that stuff is happening now. Like,
Yeah.
we should at least get 1 or 2 Stadia exclusives in its first year, at least. And all we have right
Yeah.
now is Guilt, which is a third-party exclusive.
Yeah.
And so yeah, and they said something like there was going to be 120 more games coming to Stadia by the end of the year, and I don't think we've heard much about what those are.
Yeah, it has been a rough start for Stadia. Did you see the tweet they recently posted about spell your name with games titles? Did you see that one?
Mhm.
Oh, that was so bad.
What were people doing?
No, the fact that they did that.
It's cringy.
Yeah, it's cringy because
I don't think it's that bad. But
yeah,
like,
because they of course are using the games that they have in their platform, and it doesn't. It isn't a good image for them to use these old games to. In a way, it showcases the problems of Stadia, that it's all old games that no one talks about, and they even, I think it was for the eye, they skip it. They skip.
yeah,
that one.
I did say that, where it was like for I they had the emoji that was just like, I don't know.
Yeah, so it kind of shows the lack of titles that they have there, lack in library.
Yeah,
That's
that's
why I
true.
think
that did kind of bite them in the ass. But
Yeah.
I mean, like that kind of antics, though, I just kind of expect from brand Twitters of like, you want me to think you're one of the guys, but you're not.
Yeah, but they should have been self-aware enough to know that they don't have a good library right now.
Yeah.
Interesting stuff. I hope it takes off. Like, I want to try Stadia when it comes out.
Sure.
Yeah.
The
It is
free version. Well, I don't want to pay, so you know. I want the free version. Give me that.
Yeah. Yeah, like I said before, I hope Stadia somehow it does bounce back and it is the thing we all wanted it to be. But I don't see that being so possible right now.
Yeah.
On, like, if I'm looking for the silver lining in this, the thing that comes to mind is that this is potentially Google saying, hey, we're in this for the next 3 years, at least.
Yeah.
Because it's like, hey, we're hiring these people, we're starting a new studio, something will come out, you know, which, again, who knows if it actually will, but I'm happy that they're at least making moves like this, because if they can stick with this, then I think 10 years down the road, Stadia will be totally competent. But that's 10 years.
There's definitely
down the road.
potential.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It does at least show that Google hasn't forgotten about Stadia, at least for now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
At least for now. Okay, moving on. Number 4. The Last of Us series in the works at HBO from Chernobyl creator Craig Mazin and Neil Druckmann. This is coming from Boris Kitt and Patrick Shanley at The Hollywood Reporter, and they write, Craig Mazin, the creator of the acclaimed limited series Chernobyl, is re-teaming with HBO to adapt the hit video game The Last of Us. In a rare development in the world of video game adaptations, the writer and creative director of the game, Neil Druckmann, is also involved and will work with Mazin to pen and executive produce what is intended to be a series. Carolyn Strauss will also executive produce along with Evan Wells, president of Naughty Dog, the Santa Monica-based developer of the game. The project is a co-production with Sony Pictures Television in association with PlayStation Productions. It will be the first television series from PlayStation Productions. Man, Powers just got the snub.
Yeah. That wasn't PlayStation Productions.
It's not, but it was a PlayStation show.
Yeah, but it wasn't.
Continuing on, Sony and Naughty Dog's The Last of Us, which bowed in 2013, garnered critical praise for its engrossing tale of the post-apocalypse, centering on the relationship between Joel, a smuggler in this new world, and Ellie, a teenager who might be the key to a cure for a deadly pandemic. Joel, a hardened survivor, is hired to smuggle the 14-year-old girl out of an oppressive quarantine zone. What starts as a small job soon becomes a brutal, heartbreaking journey as they traverse the U.S. and depend on each other for survival. The HBO series will cover the events of the original game, which was written by Druckmann, with the possibility of additional content based on the forthcoming game sequel, The Last of Us Part 2, which is set to be released May 29th. Interesting stuff.
Yeah.
I for one am super excited. However,
I'm definitely intrigued.
I also don't think we need this.
Oh, for sure.
I'm stoked that this is happening and that Neil Druckmann is involved so intimately, right? But it's just like the game is so good on its own.
Oh yeah,
like
sure.
go play that game.
Yeah, I don't know. There's still a chance that it won't happen. Let's not forget
True.
that there
That's
was
true.
a Last of Us movie on the works with Neil,
Correct.
and that doesn't seem to be going to happen anymore. So there is a chance that it won't happen. That being said, it being HBO and having the guy from Chernobyl and all that, it does make it seem more official and something that it will happen.
Yeah.
And if you're going to adapt a video game, The Last of Us has a great story to adapt, since that game is so story heavy and cinematic heavy.
Mhm.
So yeah, I mean, if it does happen, I do see it being a great show. But we'll
Do you think
see.
they're going to get? Do you think they're going to get the people that played the characters in the games to do the roles?
No.
I don't
No,
think
you
so.
don't think?
No, they wouldn't work.
If
That wouldn't work.
Troy
I guess
Baker
it has been
did,
a while.
he would be the one that I think they
Maybe
could
Troy.
do it because he played the voice of Joel, and if he
Yeah, but
beefs up a bit and like changes his hairstyle, then yeah.
I was thinking the
He'd be
people that
good.
did the bodies.
Oh,
oh,
I don't know.
I don't think they use. Are you saying body doubles that they
Yeah,
use?
I would think that they designed the bodies after the character design after real people. A lot of games have been doing that. I thought they did that for that one.
I don't think so. I mean,
Interesting. I
At
thought they did
most, Ellie kind of looked like Ellen Page,
Yeah,
but not really.
not enough.
No.
Yeah.
Where
Yeah.
was this
Anyway.
tweet? Hold on a sec. I
Yeah.
found. In
You found a tweet?
one. Well, there was a tweet going around. I should be in my likes on Twitter. Of a fan casting that was really good.
Oh, okay.
Let me see if I can find it here.
I will say I am worried that this kind of like a new post-apocalyptic show will turn this into another Walking Dead.
I mean, if
I don't.
they are saying that they will stick to the first game and maybe go to the second game, so I
Yeah.
don't see it turning into The Walking Dead. And also, it's Chernobyl. If I'm not mistaken, it was a limited series.
Well,
Yes.
that's good. That's good to know.
Yeah,
Limited series are where it's at.
yeah.
It was. So this tweet going around was from Helker1, HELLKR1 on Twitter. And he just writes, "Let's get nuts. Hashtag The Last of Us." And he has a picture of Nikolaj Coster-Waldau, I believe is how you say his name, and then Caitlin Dever as Joel and Ellie. Nikolaj, Nikolaj, Coster-Waldau, Costerwaldau, and then Caitlin Dever, Kaitlyn Dever, and they look like they could fit.
Yeah.
That looked really fantastic.
Caitlin Dever is
Oh, yeah.
the girl from Booksmart, if I'm not mistaken.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Looking at her now, she looks good.
And then I
Yeah.
think-
that'd work.
And she also played the daughter of Nathan Drake on Uncharted 4.
That's right.
Oh.
I
Yeah.
did hear that.
Well, there you go. She already got something under her belt for video game stuff.
from Naughty Dog too.
Yeah.
So
Oh yeah.
she has connections there. So that would be neat.
Yeah, it would be neat.
Yeah, and I'm excited that this is happening because I think this is one of the stories that if this is brought to a wider audience, that people will like this. And
Yeah.
I think with Neil Druckmann so involved, I don't think I think he would be an adamant supporter of like, we're only going to tell the story we need to tell, and that's it. Like, this isn't gonna be a 10 season long thing. Like, honestly, if this is only 6 episodes, I think that would be gold.
Yeah, that'd be great. Actually,
Just
I was
leave it at
worried they would turn into a way too long series. But yeah, if they do limited, I don't see a way this could fail. Then.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know.
And
Hopefully, Neil is very involved in it and not just on paper.
Yeah. Which, I mean, he seems to be. It looks like he's helping to write, and he's also executive producer. So he's gonna have some influence there. But I think also with like video game adaptions, we still haven't found that sweet spot yet, though, right? Like, Detective Pikachu did fine, Sonic did fine. I think that new Lara Croft Tomb Raider did fine.
Yeah, it was fine.
And I think that's where we're heading right now. Things are fine.
Apparently, the Castlevania show is really good.
Yes, I have not seen that, but that's what I've heard.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I also haven't watched that. I've only heard good things.
But I think the way to do it is with a show, with a limited series, because cramming the story of The Last of Us into a movie, I don't think fits.
Yeah.
Yeah, it would be a detriment to the story.
And I think that's what movie studios have recently learned with comics of like, you can make one movie, sure, but it might not be the entire story, right? Like, you need the Marvel Cinematic Universe to make the magic of comics in this. Like, you need it to basically be a TV show, right?
Yeah, comics are naturally issues.
Serialized.
That's how the stories are told. So you need episodes.
You nailed it. Exactly. So I'm excited about that. Do you guys have any other thoughts on this?
No.
No.
I was trepidatious, but now that sounds interesting.
Yeah.
I'm down.
Hopefully, it will come out and hopefully, will be great.
Yeah, hopefully it'll come out.
Yep.
Yeah, because we all know how the Uncharted movie is doing.
It's supposed to start production now.
Yeah, like at the end of the month, it's supposed to start, and they're on their like 8th director.
Yeah,
something like that.
I like the joke that the production has been going so long that Mike Wahlberg went from playing Nathan Drake to Sully.
Yeah, I remember that.
That's great.
Yeah,
that's funny.
Yeah, you have to put that PlayStation Productions to work. Hasn't been doing anything.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think that's also kind of a victim of whatever happened with Sean Layden.
Yeah.
I think because I think he was the one that kind of announced it and was like, "Hey guys, we're starting this thing."
He was supposed to be involved in that.
And then, he just mysteriously left.
Yeah.
So who knows? Hopefully they get some things situated and figured out, because if this is a good show, I'm going to be very happy. Very happy boy. Let's move on to number 5 here on the news. Ghost of Tsushima will release June 26th and debuts a new story trailer. This is coming from Andrew Goldfarb on the PlayStation blog, and he writes, Ghost of Tsushima is coming to PS4 June 26th. It's so exciting to finally be able to announce our release date, and even better that it's just a few months away. We can't wait to share the world we've created. today we revealed a brand new trailer that showcases our hero Jin Sakai. In the past, we've shown the world around Jin, but this time we wanted to give you a taste of the people he meets along his journey and the scale of the threat that forces him to transform into a new kind of warrior. While you can blah blah blah, I'm going to skip that sentence because that blah blah blah. The first is Jin's uncle, Shimura. The Hito, I don't know why I pronounced that with an H and not a J. I don't know how you.
I believe
pronounce
it's
that.
Hito.
Hito. We'll go with that.
Yeah.
The Hito of Tsushima, which is the Lord of Tsushima, and a father figure to Jin. He's trained Jin since childhood in the traditional ways of the samurai, and grows increasingly concerned by the tactics Jin starts to adopt as he abandons his teachings and becomes the Ghost. The second important character we're highlighting today is Khoten Khan. The Khan is the leader of the invading Mongol army and a ruthless, cunning enemy who uses everything he knows about the samurai to try and destroy them. He's a brutal, unrelenting adversary that Jin will quickly learn to not underestimate. Did you guys watch this?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Holy
yeah, it's
moly.
really, really nice.
Yeah.
This looks amazing.
Beautiful and amazing.
So I've been excited about this game, but this is the one that I was just like, yes, take my money.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, the animation, the detail. There's a moment where you can watch a bead of sweat roll down him while he's like making like a very passionate answer to something, and it's like, it's very good.
Yeah.
Good indeed.
Before I was very interested in the game. Now I'm really excited for it.
Yeah,
For what it seems like, it kind of looks like an open world samurai game with stealth and
Yeah.
action, and it looks really good and up my alley, and I can't wait for it.
yeah, I'm here for it.
Yeah.
So
The only problem... Oh, sorry, go on.
No, go ahead.
No, the only problem here is that it's June 26th, so a month away from The Last of Us.
Yeah, The Last of Us is May 29th.
Yeah.
This is June 26th, which, I mean, it's not that bad, but it, like...
No, but I mean,
Sure,
it could be a
would've
problem.
preferred, yeah, like a month more
Yeah.
time.
I mean, it doesn't affect me, but I think that it could be a problem having those two be so close to each other.
I think this also, though, gives us a bit of a hint for the time frame of PS5. A very vague hint,
yeah.
because I think
Yeah.
if PS5 wasn't coming till like November or December, I don't see why they couldn't have pushed this to, one more month, because they hadn't announced the release date until now. But with this being June, it probably means they want it out in the summer so that PS5 will be here in the fall, ideally, though.
Yeah, and also we'll see if
September
the
at the
coronavirus
earliest?
thing.
Yeah.
You think September?
At the
It would be also
earliest. I don't think it'll actually
Yeah, I was
be
gonna
in
say-
September, but
I think that's way too early.
like that would be fall.
December at the earliest for
time.
me.
You think December?
At the earliest for me, I'd say it has to launch. I think during a high buy time, like Christmas.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think I would put it late October. So
Yeah, I would
right
put it
before
early
Black
November.
Friday.
Oh yeah,
Yeah, I
That's
don't know.
when
I
it's
still
gonna be out
think
there.
that their plan is to do it just like with the PS4, do it early November.
Mhm.
I think that worked well for them last time. But then again, with the whole coronavirus thing, who knows how
yeah.
that will affect their plan.
Who's to
But-
say?
Back to this game. It sounds like it's gonna be a sweet revenge tale.
Yeah.
Where you are this like badass samurai dude, and it's like, look, this invading army, they're ruthless. They've killed off most of the samurai. You're gonna have to learn to adapt and like not be a samurai anymore. You're gonna have to use some shady tactics.
You're Batman now.
I'm Batman.
Congratulations, you're Batman now.
Yeah.
Batman.
Yeah, that'll be interesting. I'll be curious how long it'll be.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Same.
I think it would probably be around 20 hours.
Yeah.
That's one thing we still haven't seen much of. We've seen some gameplay, but I still don't know exactly what this will entail. So I'm looking forward to the coming months when we start to learn a little bit more about all of that.
Well, it does look like an open world game, and
Yeah.
also with stealth elements and action elements. Yeah.
I'm wondering.
The hype is there.
I'm wondering if there's gonna be some kind of like morality system thing.
Ooh,
Kind
that'd
of
be
like
fun.
Infamous.
Yeah, because that was that whole thing of like
Fallout
you could
New
be
Vegas.
or New Vegas, but like they had this whole thing of like, hey, you can be a hero or a villain, and what if it's like, hey, you can remain a samurai and do things that way, and maybe have a certain outcome with that, or you can kind of forget your old teachings and learn these more ruthless ways and become something else.
Yeah, I mean, a morality system would be up their alley since they also did the Infamous games.
Exactly.
They had all these morality meters in it.
And then they have that whole aspect of like, well, if you become something else to get revenge on the people or on the person that killed all of the other samurai and your family and who knows what, like, are you really the good guy here?
Yeah.
Like, haven't you just become them? Like, you're doing the same kind of things they did. So, who knows?
Yeah.
I'm excited. That's going to be day one purchase for me.
Yeah.
I'll probably watch the trailer again when we're done.
It just looks so good.
Yeah.
It's so pretty.
Exactly. Number 6. Overwatch is now banning some heroes in competitive play. This is coming from, once again, Michael McWhirter from Polygon. He writes, Overwatch's 21st season of competitive goes live this past week, or I guess it went live this past week. And with it, a new way for Blizzard to mix up the shooters meta game. Hero bans. 4 heroes, Baptiste, Hanzo, Mai, and Orisa, have been temporarily, I cannot speak, goodness gracious, temporarily locked out of competitive play, a move that Blizzard hopes will create change in the meta. Blizzard announced its plans to introduce the Hero Pools system back in January. Hero Pools went live in the Nintendo Switch, PlayStation 4, Windows, PC, and Xbox One versions of the game last Thursday. On the Overwatch website, the company said the plan is to disable 1 tank, 1 support, and 2 damage heroes from the roster each week, with the intent to keep the meta fresh and encourage hero diversity in matches. What do you guys think of this one?
Interesting. It feels like Overwatch has gotten too powerful and must now destroy itself.
That's a good way to put it.
Yeah.
Or like it that's the thing of like I feel like something like Valorant is coming at just the right time, where Overwatch is still super popular, but I feel like everyone has basically figured out the game, and if you haven't yet, you're probably not gonna play it.
Yeah.
Right? Like I have it. I played it for a while when it first came out, but I stopped and I'd like to jump back in. It's a completely different game now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I think something like
It's a lot less forgiving.
Right. Exactly. So I think something like this will help it, but I think it's also time. Like, hey, maybe we get something else, right? Like I think the ones who are stuck in that in that game, or I guess not stuck, but like, you know, the ones who are so deep into that game, I'm sure will still be on the game for a long time to come. Like the game is by no means dead or something like that. But
this is just bad news for Hanzo mains.
Yeah. Right. Yeah. Right. At least for this next week.
Yeah. I don't know. As someone who knows nothing about Overwatch, you lost me on the second paragraph. Like, yeah, when I read the title, I thought, why would you have broken characters in the first place? Shouldn't you fix that? But
well, they're always trying.
It's not that they're
always trying to
broken.
fix their games.
Yeah, that's what I was gonna say. Then when you go to the second paragraph, apparently it's more than that. So yeah,
it's
I really don't get
strategic,
it.
right?
Yeah.
It's like saying, hey, people have been playing this game so long that they've kind of figured out who the best characters are and like what your team structure should be, and so everyone's teams just looks the exact same, right? And it's become kind of stale. So we can either continue to make new characters and like continue to rebalance the game, which I'm sure they're still doing, but we can also kind of make things happen a little bit faster if like, what if we limit what characters they can play as and we change it up from week to week so all of these teams continually have to change?
Yeah.
So
it does feel kind of like punishment for some creators. I'm sure it feels for some people that's very good at the game. It could it could scare away a lot of players.
I think so. It's what you said at the start. Like, this game has become what it is. It is too powerful. It is immovable now, and
it's almost Magic the Gathering.
Yeah, they just have to be like, all right, this week no Hanzo mains.
Yeah,
It's like, oh man,
I'd be down for no Hanzo week in general.
Right. And then next week Hanzo is back and no Mai. It's like, oh man, you guys are cold.
Yeah, I do think it'll do what they want it to do, where it'll refresh things a little bit, but it will still probably scare some people away.
Yeah, I was also one to misunderstand this when I read the headline. Not that I think the headline is misleading per se, it just doesn't have the full information, right? So it's just like, oh, that's what they mean by banning them.
That's mass media.
Yeah, so it makes sense. It's just an interesting move that I thought was worth mentioning.
Yeah.
Let's see. Let's move on to number 7. Here's another meaty one. The last big news item of the day. I Am 8-Bit withdraws from E3. This is coming from I Am 8-Bit on Twitter, and they tweeted out, "It's with mixed emotions that I Am 8-Bit has decided to resign as creative directors of what was to be an evolutionary E3 2020 floor experience. We've produced hundreds of gaming and community events, and it was a dream to be involved with E3. We wish the organizers the best of luck." And then I stole this off of Patrick Klepek's Twitter, but this was apparently E3's response. "We can confirm that I Am 8-Bit is no longer part of the interagency group working on E3 2020. We greatly value their passion for the video game industry and the contributions they brought towards our vision for this year's show. We have an innovative and experienced team in place, including Endeavor's creative agency 160/90, event innovators Matt and Lowe, and longtime E3 partners GES, Doher Events, and Double Forte, all collaborating to bring to life an exciting and authentic experience for fans, the media, and the industry. I don't know about you guys, but I smell blood in the water.
Yeah. Yeah. I don't know. I don't know exactly what I Am 8-Bit does or has done with the E3, but yeah, this sounds like another step on towards E3's eventual death.
Yeah,
It's
so
not
these
good news.
guys
Yeah.
were the creative directors. They were the ones kind of helping shape E3's vision of like, hey, here's what we're gonna have happen, and now we need people to make it happen, right? They were the ones being like, oh, okay, the show floor is gonna look like this, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, I thought they did a lot of the like exhibits, like you could go and see this like life-size sculpture of this thing and look through this thing and virtual reality and stuff like that. They were the brains
section.
behind that stuff.
Right? Yeah.
So
That
it'll be a little bit more
that's
bare
what I
bones this year.
expected of them, what they were up to. But they are not the first to withdraw from E3.
Yeah.
We also know that Jeff Keighley withdrew from all the E3 stuff that he was doing, and that one was crazy to see. But the interesting thing here is the words mixed emotions.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What do you guys think that means?
Maybe it wasn't on good terms.
Yeah.
That's
what I'm
what I'm
thinking.
thinking. Because like they mentioned that like it was a dream to be involved with E3. Like, they really want to be there, is what it sounds like. Especially since most people still see E3 as like the mecca of video games, right? Or at least
Do you think it
most
was
people on
like
the outside.
do you think it was like an Edgar Wright and Ant-Man situation where they wanted to get too fun with it, and E3 was like, no, this is too fun. You get out of here. Needs to be
It's
better.
kind of the opposite of like E3
Oh,
was
okay.
wanting it to be, or the ESA was wanting certain things, and I Am 8-Bit maybe being like, all right, hold your horses there. Like, let's rein this in a bit here, you know?
They couldn't do it, wouldn't do it, kind of stuff.
Yeah, I don't know, so I can only speculate.
Yeah.
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 Mixed emotions.
It's sad seeing E3 slowly bleed.
Yeah.
It's just
And
slowly inching towards death. And I'm afraid come June, the coronavirus will be the final blow to E3.
Oh, you think?
Yeah, I love E3. I love that the industry has something like E3 a week that we all can enjoy, getting new announcements, seeing new games and all that. And I'm afraid it will go away.
yeah, I know Los Angeles declared a state of emergency
Yeah.
this past week, I think. So yeah, like, I mean, things are happening. We're all kind of waiting. I feel like it's like watching old Yeller. It's just like, so one of these days we're just gonna have to go take it around back behind that shed and put it out of its misery. I think this is maybe the bullet that will do it, or at least the thing that will like tip it over. Like, this is the straw on the camel's back. Might not be the heaviest thing, right, or like the biggest news, but I think this is one of the things that will tip it. Just because E3's response is, look, we still have these other really cool people that you've never heard of. Like 160/90, Matt and Lowe, GES.
Well, to be fair, I never heard of I Am
events.
8-Bit. So.
A lot of these sound like indie bands. Sounds like they're going to get a lot of help from indie bands.
Thank you. We're Matt and Lowe, and we're here to play you some songs.
Yeah. This one's about Sega Genesis.
Yeah, right.
Yeah. It'll be really sad to see E3 go. I remember watching it on, G4 when they did the coverage every year.
Mhm.
It was a whole event, and I'm sure when it does pass, there will be something in its place, if not something of the same grandiose, like something. There'll still be some way for the video game community to get together and
Oh yeah.
enjoy video games together and enjoy video game news together. But yeah, I think you're right. I think this is coming to an end.
I think, especially with all the coronavirus stuff and people being like, "Hey, stay home, work from home, don't travel, don't go to these big conventions and stuff like that." I think we are going to see a lot of companies switch to the more Nintendo Direct style thing and realize, holy shit, this is a lot cheaper. We can reach the same amount of people. Like, why don't we just have like the ESA could still organize an event around that, collecting these video things, having certain I mean they could just have like a smaller scale studio where they like they sit at some table or news thing and they're announcing these things, and like, up next is Microsoft's thing, and roll that beautiful bean footage, right?
Yeah.
And they do that, and then they talk about it on the screen. They could hire Greg Miller to be a host or something, right?
Yeah.
Like, there's something that they can do. I just don't think that the direction that they're going in now is what the industry needs, because we already have it. We already have
that's true.
PAX. That's exactly what they're turning it into. It's like, hey, it's this fun fan event where you can play this game or play that game and play against these stars and all of that stuff. So, I don't know.
Rip.
Do you guys think if E3 is canceled this year, that they will do an E3 the year after?
I think they'll try and do something, but I don't think they may not be able to like book the same space kind of thing.
Yeah, I don't know. The E3 in general wasn't in a good place before all this started happening, so now they're even worse. I don't know.
It's sad.
Yeah.
Yeah. This is a
But
downer moment.
At the same time, like, E3 to me was like sitting on the couch or getting in my bed with my laptop or on my big screen watching the live streams, like watching the IGN coverage, watching the GameSpot coverage, the giant bomb at night stuff, right? Like, that's what E3 was. It was watching these live streams.
Yeah.
So I don't know.
I think there
We'll
should still be a time where you can get together and watch a bunch of trailers. Like maybe one day you're like, all the trailers dropped today. Like, get ready.
Yeah.
That would still
be
be
sweet.
nice.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'd be about it. Okay. Last section that we started out last week is just a few honorable mentions. News stuff that happened this past week, but maybe not as much to say about them. So here are, I believe, 5? Yes. 5 news headlines that are honorable mentions. First up, Mario Kart Tour has real-time multiplayer matches finally this week. I think it started today, like the day that we are recording this.
Yeah.
So that's neat that they finally have that stuff.
Yeah, and it was always weird because the game always made it look like you're playing against other people.
Yeah,
But they
like,
weren't
made
other
up
people, they were
fake
bots.
usernames.
Yeah.
That's so weird. Number 2 is Call of Duty Mobile devs scrap the zombie mode due to quality concerns. sounds like they were testing it out and it just wasn't working out. So unfortunate if you're a fan of the Call of Duty mobile game.
Yeah.
You're gonna have to find zombies in some other game. I don't know how you're gonna do it, but
Yeah.
good
Too
luck.
bad there's literally no other game with zombies. None.
Yeah.
It's a
Godspeed.
shame. Speaking of Call of Duty, did you guys see this one? Call of
I didn't.
Duty
Yeah.
streamer accidentally fires gun on air and lands himself a Twitch ban.
What did he think was gonna happen?
So it happened on accident.
Yeah.
He was
Kinda.
also intoxicated.
Yeah, he was drunk.
And it seems like
What do
he
you think was
has-
gonna happen?
Yeah, right? But like, I mean, he's also come out and apologized, and it seems like he's very sincere about like, dude, this was a mistake. It shouldn't have happened. I messed up. They rightfully banned me. Don't do what I did because that was stupid. I could have hurt someone, me, or my pets, or something. Like, it was stupid. Like, he seems genuinely sorry.
Yeah, I mean, in the video,
good.
you do see him clear out the chamber. But I don't
Yeah.
know. Apparently, he didn't remove the magazine.
He must have had like a hair trigger, and he just tapped it the right way, and it was just like,
Yeah.
holy shit.
Yeah, somehow he did intend for there to not be any bullets inside, but clearly he didn't do a good job.
Yeah.
I'm surprised that like having firearms on screen is not a thing for like a Twitch like do not do.
Interesting, yeah.
Yeah,
I
don't
didn't
know.
even think of
I
that.
feel like the second you bring that on screen, like, oh, okay, he's banned.
Well, I don't know if they could just ban you for having it, especially
Yeah.
if it's not illegal, right?
Yeah,
I suppose, but just I don't know. There's something about this that I think you should have gotten stopped before you got to this point.
Yeah, I mean, it might end up being something like nudity, where it's like, hey, nudity's not necessarily illegal in certain parts of the country and stuff like that, and like it's just like, hey, we don't want that stuff on our particular platform because we're trying to make it a little more family friendly. So maybe they lump firearms in that too. Just
yeah,
like, hey,
I can be naked in my house, but not on
yeah.
stream.
I mean,
Exactly.
for all we know, Ignacio, you could be naked right now.
Yeah,
Oh my god.
I could. Sure, could.
Number 4 was that Frictional Games reveals Amnesia Rebirth with a creepy new trailer. Have you guys played the Amnesia games?
No, no.
I could never.
I
I don't have the
roommate-
stomach for it.
I saw a roommate of mine play them, and yeah, they are creepy. They're terrifying.
Yeah. It'll be interesting to see if a new fan base comes out of this new game.
Yeah. Hopefully, and it's back in the original developers' hands, so that'll be
Yeah.
good. Good to see that. And finally, for the honorable mentions, Konami delays TurboGrafx 16 Mini due to that coronavirus.
I like the title that it's on Twitter. I think it was
Yeah.
IGN that had it as the first console launch delayed due to coronavirus of the year.
Yeah,
Yeah, and it was this guy.
TurboGrafx 16 Mini.
Yeah. I couldn't tell you what that is unless you included the word Konami. So,
Right, yeah. It's they're trying to cash in on these, like, hey, we're re-releasing this system in a mini version,
In a
and
mini
it comes
version.
with 30 games.
Yeah,
Here it
Yeah.
is. So
yeah, it sucks for the people who wanted it.
it
Yeah.
happened. Yeah,
Yeah,
it was bound to happen at some point. That damn coronavirus. Crazy stuff. Well, let's see. Jams.
yes.
What are you most excited to play this coming week? What are you hoping to dive into?
finish Kingdom Hearts.
One of
know,
us.
I think-
One of us. One of us.
There's a voice in my head that says I should probably finish Kingdom Hearts 3.
Listen to your voice. Listen to your inner voice.
The voice sounds a lot like Ignacio, and I'm questioning everything about my inner religion and moralities.
Ignore the man behind the curtain.
There's a man behind a curtain in my head.
How did you get that curtain inside your head?
That's bigger than my head. I'll probably finish Kingdom Hearts 3, and then I'll play a little bit more Black Sad, see if I like it anymore. Maybe play some more After Party. I know I've only scratched the surface of that game, so
cool.
Yeah, play it. Probably finish Kingdom Hearts 3 like I've been told to do.
Sounds good. Ignacio,
Yeah.
what about you?
More Batman.
More Batman?
Yeah, I don't know. Hopefully, I'll pick my Switch back up. I haven't played it much. I don't know why.
I guess I should also ask you: were you thinking about getting Ori and the Will of the Wisps? 'Cause I think that's out this week.
I have Game Pass, so I will try it out.
Oh hell yeah! There you
Yeah.
go.
Nice.
I'd never played the first one, so I'm like, I wonder if I should play the first one. Then I have
I think you should.
Division and Assassin's Creed Odyssey to still play, and I have a lot.
Yeah.
So
I played part of the first one, and I don't think I need to finish that one to start the second Ori.
Yeah, I don't think you're gonna miss a lot of story.
Yeah. It was a cool game. It was a Metroidvania,
Yeah,
and I love
those
those.
are always fun.
Yeah.
Yeah.
sounds good. I am hoping to finally figure out how to defeat, not defeat. I don't know who defeat is.
I hope you defeat.
I hope you managed to defeat.
Can I
Hashtag
defeat? No, I'm hoping to dive back into Warlords of New York for Division 2 and hopefully figure out how to defeat these three guys with the fire flamethrower things. I forgot what a flamethrower was called for a second there. I was like, that fire gun, fire thrower, flamethrower, that's it. There you go.
Fire go machine.
Yeah. Go gadget
Some
fire.
machine that throws fire.
Yeah, exactly.
Could be cool.
So that should be fun, and
Yeah.
would love to
Have
get
you
back
tried-
into Assassin's Creed Odyssey. I don't know if I will, though. But
Have you tried shooting them in the head?
You know that could
damn
do
it.
Yeah.
I've been shooting them in the foot.
Ugh.
Foot the entire time. Because if they stop walking, then, they can't get to me. Maybe I'll shoot them in the head.
No, that's not how the game works. Shoot him in the head. I'm sure
You-
you can.
yeah.
Not.
The Division Foot Soldier is a whole nother game.
Yeah.
Exactly. So, hopefully that'll be fun. Hopefully I can figure it out and I won't curse at my screen too much. But that being said, let's wrap things up and get out of here. Jams, thank you so much for joining us.
Yeah. Thank you for coming.
Yeah. Thanks for having me. I had a lot of fun.
Yeah.
Exactly. Where can the people keep up with you online?
If you wish to find me, I cannot be found. But if you wish to find me online, I am at JamsWilk, which is JamsWilk.
Go. Ignacio,
Yep.
how about you? Where can they find you?
You can find me on Twitter at Ignacio Rojas B. That's IGNACIOROJSB.
Cool. And you guys can find me at Yo Kyle Springer on Twitter and Instagram. And if you guys want to stay up to date with all of our podcasts, we are on Twitter at The Whatnots. I mentioned our website, mentioned our Patreon, all of that stuff.
And
Go
what if
subscribe
they
to
want
us
some
on
merch?
YouTube. Yes,
also
and as
do that.
Ignacio just mentioned, go buy some merch. TheWhatnots.com/store. You guys can buy
We should
some
be pushing that. We
t-shirts
really
and
should be
stickers
pushing.
and stuff. We really should.
Yeah.
Though we also kind of only have like basic stuff up there.
Yeah.
So we will flesh it out at some point. But that being said, we are going to get out of here for now. This has been episode 17 of Crossplay. We will see you guys next time. Bye.
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 Hey, what's up, party people? Thank you guys for checking out our podcast. I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, leave a comment down below. Maybe let us know if you're excited for the Last of Us HBO series. In the meantime, though, go subscribe to our channel, which is right up there in that corner. We would appreciate that a lot, as well as going to check out one of our other videos down there in that corner. That would help us out a ton as well. We got a bunch of other podcasts for you to check out. Until next time, though, bye.